inventions have changed the world.
Hello, and welcome back to Hitman 3 and the trending contracts. And today's contract, the Syndicate Part 6, the Delgado Cartel. And this is set in Santa Fortuna, and the contract ID is up on the screen now for anyone who wishes to have a go at it, and has been supplied courtesy of Derek Ladd 90. So on to today's briefing. Head of the Delgado Cartel, Rico Delgado, is a fearless and dangerous man with many powerful allies, including ties to a European biker gang. Andrea Martinez is the real brains of their operation, taking over as Rico Delgado's right hand after the recent death of their former cartel member Toby Hicks. The Delgado Cartel are the world's largest supplier of cocaine and play a vital role within the syndicate. So our targets today, we have 5 with no stipulations on how we dispatch them or what we wear whilst we do so we have a free map. So for today's challenge, we will be starting at the village bus stop, and the only items we will need will be a vial of lethal poison and a silenced pistol. Everything else is on the map. So right from the start and off the bat, we are going to make a beeline directly to our first target, and that will be Andrea Martinez, and there we know how to get to her. In fact, our first 2 kills, Andrea and Rico, are easily achievable via a silent assassin suit only. So we're going to make our way around to the rear of the musician's house, hide behind the dumpster and take out the camera on the side of Andrea's compound. We can then make our way over the wall of said compound and up the stairs to the rear of the building. Now unfortunately Andrea is currently in attendance and we will have to wait for her to leave. Basically we need her and her secretary out of the way and one specific guard in the room to be in a certain position. So once Andrea and her secretary leave the room, there is the guard in question, and we're just going to wait for him to stand by the desk on the other side of this door. So he's currently at the edge of the desk. He's going to move round to the front of the desk and we can then make our way inside. We're going to poison the glass on this central console here and then very quickly make our way back outside. So for the purposes of the video, I am going to stick around for the kill. This does take quite a while. We do have to wait for Andrea to go through her entire routine and return. So I suggest moving on to the ruins and Rico Delgado next of all. So down goes Andrea Martinez, 1 target down, 2 to go. We are now, as I mentioned, going to head off to the ruins and we are going to feed Rico Delgado to his beloved hippo. So this all works for silent assassin suit only, all the way up to the George Franco kill. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Jorge Franco, could be. So we're going to make our way to the construction site and veer off into the forest to our right. We're going to shoot down the log bridge so that we can get across the piranha infested river. Not try dipping my toes in this one. So once the bridge is in place, we can scoot across round to our right and we will then make our way into and through the ruins until we come to the hippo enclosure, and we will be in for another long-ish wait, possibly even 2. So we're just going to crouch run all the way down into the ruins. There are 2 guards up ahead on our left. We are going to veer off to the right and around through the altar room, and in here we will find ourselves just to our left a shovel. We're going to use that in a few moments. So we're going to make our way up to the hippo enclosure. Now luckily for me, my timing was impeccable, and the hippo wrangler is just leaving, which means the guard is going to go over to the hippo enclosure, which means we can then render him unconscious nice and quickly, grab up his gun, grab his body, and we're going to hide him in the closet provided, and then we're going to entice the hippo out of his enclosure with the meaty bone that's just on the shelf to our right here. At this point I'm also going to take a disguise, although you can continue on in your suit if you so wish. It's just a lot easier to move around the villa area in a disguise. So out comes Milo the hippo, there you are, and we are going to go and hide in the bushes here and wait for the hippo wrangler to come back, find the hippo out and retrieve our target for us. So Rico is going to speak to the hippo wrangler and pay him off, and when he leaves he will then approach the enclosure and we can throw Rico to the hippo. So come on Rico, get on with it. Just give the guy his money, send him on his way, try not to put a bullet in him. You may need his services again in the future. So the hippo wrangler is now leaving. We're just going to let him get a safe distance away. And once he turns that corner, we should be okay. So at this point, all we have to do is throw Rico into the hippo enclosure. Here you go. Dinner time, Milo. So once this is dealt with, we can then move on to our next 2 targets, which will be Hector Delgado and Catalina Delgado. So at this point we do need to make our way up the stairs and past one enforcer, so we're going to use the bushes here for cover, make our way around the big rock, grab the crowbar from the crate there, make our way back around the rock, and then we're going to throw the crowbar just behind the 2 guards, just against the wall there. That will get their attention, and while they're looking around that way, we can pass once again through the heavy foliage and on to the villa property. And then from here we're going to make a beeline straight for Hector Delgado and into his bathroom. We'll have that straight razor. Now to get Hector in here you can overflow the sink, but he does, as you can see, come in here on his own accord at some point. We're just going to hide out of sight of anyone out in the garden through the window. You can be spotted quite easily through that window, so crouch down before you take your shot at Hector, and then we'll make our way down the stairs and into the basement area. We need to set up our last 2 kills. So down in the basement area we need to retrieve 2 items. So first of all, try not to get lost like I do, and I'm looking for a silver door, but not the one behind me. That's the door I want. This will lead out into the tunnel system, and in here we have one enforcer to avoid. There he is. And whilst down here we are going to disable the surveillance system, retrieve ourselves a propane cylinder and a vial of lethal poison. So once the enforcer has his back to this door in the center here, we can make our way inside. We are going to have to get rid of the forger, who is also an enforcer. He's going to make his way over to the desk on the far end of the room, and when he does, we can quietly render him unconscious and deposit him in the closet provided. The guard shouldn't notice anything, and he's out of sight leaning against the whiteboard. So with the forger out the way, we can now quietly take out the surveillance system. That's in order for us to get to the propane cylinder, which is just past the rec room here. So we're going to make our way into the rec room and out the door opposite onto the stairwell, where we will find a propane cylinder. Now once we have that, we can now make our way in through the door on the left into the money counting room and retrieve our lethal poison. And once that is done, we can now begin to eliminate our final 2 targets, beginning with Catalina Delgado. So we're going to make our way through the basement area, up the stairs at the far end, bringing us out into the Delgado Museum. And we're going to make our way into the bathroom, and we're just going to wait for that enforcer guard to move away. And as long as Catalina isn't around as well, we can vault through the window, poison the glass on the table here. And again, for the sake of the video, I will stick around for the kill. So we're going to wait in the bathroom here. If you don't wish to wait, you can make your way through the little tunnel into the coca fields and move on to Jorge Franco. So here comes Catalina now. She's going to move straight over to the table and drink the extra spicy cocktail that we have prepared for her, and down she goes. So we're just going to wait right here instead of ducking out straight through the window, because there is an enforcer currently present. Hopefully he will either turn around and move away, or he will move in to speak or deal with the Catalina's body. He's actually going to move in for us. So once he goes past the window, we've got a small window of opportunity to duck out and escape. So out the window, around to our left. The only 2 enforcers in the area are both together, one alive and one not. So we're free to make our way behind the large TV screen and into the tunnels leading to the coca fields. And we're heading for Franco's little hut, which is just to the left here. We don't have to actually take out the camera, as we've already destroyed the surveillance system, but it is a habit of mine to remove that camera. Once we have the camera dealt with, we can then turn off the air conditioning system. That will then get the attention of the helicopter pilot who is inside, and when he comes out to investigate, we can render him unconscious and take the hut key from him. We're going to use the propane cylinder. We've been carrying it around for a while and not really used it for anything. So we're going to take the pilot and hide him in the dumpster just off to our left, retrieve our propane cylinder and the key that the pilot has dropped. Unfortunately, our timing is such that Jorge Franco has just arrived in the area, so we are going to have to wait for him to go through his routine and leave before we can make our way inside using the key we've collected. We're going to place the propane cylinder just on the table here, right on the corner, and before we leave, we're going to take one shot at it with our silenced pistol. So as Jorge Franco has just left the area, we are in for yet another rather lengthy wait, but we can then make our way out of the room. Behind the shed, we will still be able to see the propane cylinder and get a shot at it. So once Jorge returns to this area after several minutes, he will approach that desk, and when he does, we can take our second shot at the cylinder and eliminate our final target. So that's all the targets now taken care of. All that's left for us to do is to make good our escape, and the nearest safe exit will be the helicopter exit. So we're just going to crouch run all the way there. No one should be spotting us because they're all looking towards Franco's hut and the rather charred remains of our final target. So there we go, one more trending contract taken care of. Quite an enjoyable one this. I do like having the main targets in amongst the other targets. So we have confirmation everyone was eliminated according to plan, and we have our silent assassin rating. I have been Anubis, and I will see you all in the next video.